This piece was made in the province where the lady was trying to express,
Sure, Joe. How are you? Good, how are you? Hi, Sam. Good, good. Wow, yeah. Very nice.
I know, I'm trying to keep up with Bruce. Oh, this is Hawaiian. I actually ordered company Hawaiian shirts and all kinds of baseball stuff, whatever, all kinds of designs. I was thinking, you look at one thing and then it'll say, so I found this one company that I like. So I actually just three of them. Well, I actually one. Three other ones, and the three other ones came today. One of them is not really great.
Shabbat Shalom. I don't want to interrupt your wonderful conversation, but it is wonderful. I think Shabbat is waiting. He's out there. Let's take a nice deep breath of Shabbat air. I know it's a little bit humid for us Buffalonians. You can feel the beautiful breeze. You can feel it come through here. How wonderful it is to be together here in our outdoor tent space. How wonderful it is just to have a peaceful Shabbat, beautiful Shabbat, a Bills weekend. Almost, we have a preseason game this weekend. I have here Rabbi Yonina, who is joining with me today, who is the proud owner of a new house in Tanawan.
Which is why I'm sitting down. I'm so exhausted from this whole process, so forgive me.
If you see her slipping off into sleep, it's not any kind of rudeness, it's just quite a lot. How many of you remember moving into your home?
Oh my gosh, probably 40, 30 years ago, not at my youth. Anyway, it's going to be mine. Going to Tonawanda. Who's in Tonawanda? Not north, right near Kenmore Ave. Oh, are you? Tonawanda, yes, Hartford Avenue, right up Kenmore. It's right next to St. Joe's.
And your new house has a wonderful sitting room, which I think you have a prayer space.
I do. So those of you who like to do Jewish renewal, while you're here at Shir Shalom, I'm going to do some things in my own home. Yay!
So I want you to send blessings to Yonina today for a good journey, for a safe home, a beautiful home, one that has no leaks.
The roofs are new.
Okay, good.
Oh well, in the last couple of years, in the garage too.
We're not allowed to knock on wood. We're going to begin on page 128 with a song about love, which we will explain later in the service. This is a song about the relationship we have with Shabbat. We actually imagine our connection to God is like a love affair. And coming into Shabbat, we feel the connection. It's almost like we're coming home and greeting God, God's presence themselves as we come into the space. And it's just so wonderful to kind of have that mystical connection. So in the middle of the page, this actually has 4 verses traditionally, and they spell out Yud Hey Vav Hey, which is God's name. We're just going to do that first.
And everyone join in, too, please. Yedi nefesh Rachman, Yedi nefesh Rachman, Meshoch Avdecha, Eretz ירוץ עבדך כמאייב, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך. I'm gonna do one more time. ידי נפש הרחמן, ידי נפש הרחמן, משוך עבדך אל רצונך, משוך עבדך אל רצונך.
Heart's delight, source of mercy, draw your servant into your arms. I leap like a deer to stand in awe before you. What a beautiful translation. That gives me chills. Right? A couple weeks ago, I was at camp in the Pocono Mountains, and I had this mystical experience. I always go out in the early morning, and I like to walk, and they have a beautiful place to walk, which is a cemetery. And actually here, one of the most beautiful places to walk in Western New York, if you haven't, is Forest Lawn.
Yep.
And it's actually designed as beautiful. Sometimes as we're doing funeral services, we actually have to watch out for all the walkers. But they have a beautiful small little cemetery that's immediately outside of the campgrounds. And I love it because it's a little loop that you do, and it goes up and down, and it's wonderful. So I was walking towards the camp, towards the outside of the camp and towards the cemetery, and I look out in the distance at the cemetery, and it's right out there, and there's all the gravestones, and there is the biggest black bear I've ever seen. And it was amazing. It was this most mystical experience, because I'd never seen a bear this big. I mean, I tried to take a picture of it. I think it was like a grizzly bear. I have to tell you,
It was big.
this tall. Yeah, it was very big. Obviously, I didn't go on my walk. I was told from now on to take a whistle with me. And to start screaming at it.
Some
But,
bear spray.
I never encountered the bear again, and it never came into the campground. But I did write a little poem about it. It's called Rush of Wind. I listened to the burble of the creek. I watched the bear wandering the cemetery. I looked for the shadow of the sun beyond the clouds. Air, light, wind, love, joy, happiness, beauty, fire. All around me beckoning. No matter where I am or who I am with or where I am going. In rain, sun, snow, fields, forests, cityscape, green pastures, God's breath mixing with my own. The unaccountable and the unmeasurable. Everywhere I look, even when I'm not looking, when listening grows hard, bear witness to that which is beyond name, the burbling creek, the wandering bear, the shadow of the sun. We take moments, you never know when those kind of things are going to happen. You might notice Bruce isn't here, so I'm going to officially welcome you into the space. We'll take another deep breath, letting out all that stuff we don't need for Shabbat and holding in everything that is dear to us. We have a wonderful mother-daughter pair that's been coming to services very often, and it's always so sweet when they sit together. Amy is just recently back into town over the last year or so, I don't know, from Michigan, and she's our newest member as well, so we're glad. But I invited Gail and Amy to light our candles. It's just pressing a button, and they graciously agreed. So that's on page 120. No baby naming this time. We can't do it a second time. So just let's do it a second time. Again, we're on page 120, and we'll bestow Amy with the gift of the beautiful click. If it works. Well, Gail, would you like to help to sing the prayer? Okay, so you come over here, and all you do is you press the green button. I'm gonna stand. pretend like we didn't see that and yell as he does in the recite the Kiddush, page 123, and I'll turn it over to Rabbi Yuni. 123. There's threes and the eights. You know, you have to watch out that you fill them in and you're right.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'achava uvratzon Imchilanu Zikaron Lema'aseh Bereshit Ki hu Yom Tefillah Lemikra Kodesh Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim Ki banu v'charta v'otanu Kidashta Kohamim V'Shabbat Kodshecha V'Ahava Uratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashavat.
It's up to you. And Mazel Tov on becoming a member. Thank you for supporting us at Church Shalom. So I said we're going to be having different signs of love today, and I'm going to explain it later. But one of the things I'm going to ask you is kind of what is love when it comes to Judaism? And I wanted to bring forth, before we turn to L'Chadodi, a poem that's from the Middle Ages. There's a poet, Jewish poet, named Emmanuel of Rome. He writes beautiful Hebrew verses. So I'm going to read this, and I wanted to capture kind of love over the years. And we're going to use that as inspiration as we go into L'Chadodi. In praise of your eyes. Love, who would believe that your eyes are carried up in a whirlwind to heaven? But it's a fact. I see them in the skies at twilight and in your shining face by day. My life hangs upon the earrings in your ears, for they bewitch me with Egyptian sorcery. Delight of my eyes, I shall always behold your down star eyes and your white teeth. Tell me, lovely gazelle, do you take the stars of heaven for your eyes, holding them captive by day, and when night comes, let them go back to heaven? Or are your eyes like the likeness of the stars, and is the light of your face the image of the heavenly spheres? For in fact, all the other gazelles compared to you are no more than drops from a bucket, or specks of dust on the scales. It's a beautiful one. All right, so let's turn to L'Chadodi on page 138. I want you to think about not only Shabbat here, but as this is really about love, this mystical poem that we sing, verses that we sing. We're going to do, first of all, the first, second, and fifth and ninth verses. On the 9th verse, we're going to rise, and we're going to, if we're lucky, we'll capture the deer, representing love, or the bear, maybe. Oh, no, I don't really want any bears.
No bears.
I got scared enough for once. How many of you have seen a bear like that? How many of you have run from the bear?
Thankfully, no.
But regarding our facing, ordinarily in Spot all those years ago, they faced west to welcome the Sabbath as the sun
That's
set.
perfect there.
That's right. So
We're
really
actually
facing
gonna be
the correct way.
And then we're
Go
going to,
out into the field.
then we'll turn towards Jerusalem. All right, so 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 9th verse.
And I think we're doing my favorite.
That's my favorite too.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem tiferet v'litala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor abracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh lemachshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki vaveku mi ori, uri, shidaberi, kivod Adonai nila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'ui v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'sukkah u'b'tzohala, tov emunei amsula. Bo'ui chala.
Turn to each other.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
All right, you may be seated. So let's think about love here. We'll get to it later, but the most important thing I want you to think about is in this is a song where we're talking about love, we're inviting the bride. Who are we in this? What is the focus of the song? Are we the bride? Are we the groom? Or the other bride? Or the other groom? Are we God? No. Who are we? We are the people present for love. I want you to pay attention to that, because that is a really fundamental thing about how we think about love. It's about the couple, it's about us. And we'll talk about that later. Why don't we turn to page 146 before we do, since I had those things down. Let's do 145. This is a beautiful poem we never do, because we're always standing. Teach me, O God, blessing of prayer, on the mystery of the withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on freedom to see, to sense, to breathe. to rise with our call of community, page 146, and look around at our beautiful community where we share together. And let's turn to the top of page 149 and we'll read together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set the course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. And we turn to the words from this week's Torah portion, page 152. After we sing this, all of you will actually be Torah readers. And if you come tomorrow morning to our service, you can actually read from the Torah.
Yes, we're going to do a little chant.
Oh yeah, we got a chant.
So, we're actually going to start with a little chant. How many of you know, oh sugar, how many of you know what Shema means? Good, okay. I knew we had an educated group. That was so silly of me. But yes, so like hearing, that's why we close our eyes a lot of times. Because you don't need to see. Because you have to go within to hear. Like, let's try it right now. Can you hear my voice? Are your eyes closed? Yeah. Now let's take a moment of silence. You may hear the baby making giggling sounds. So I'm going to share with you a little chant, which actually is 2 lines. It has the Shema, and it also has the first of the Haftarah, and then we'll do our Shema. And I'll do it a few times, so you might be able to join with me. Shema Yisrael, Ya Eloheinu Echad. Shema Yisrael, Ya Eloheinu, Ya Echad. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. With all your soul and with all your might. Let's do this one more time, and then when we do go into the Shema, we're going to say it a little more slowly than you're used to. Shema Yisrael, Ya Eloheinu Echad. Shema Yisrael, Ya Eloheinu Ya Echad. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Now, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. Page
150. Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, ודיברת בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Take a moment to look at this page on 154. How many of you have read Torah in the past? How many of you have had a bar bat mitzvah? And you might see on page 154, whether you understand the Hebrew or not, if you look closely at it, it's unusual in the prayer book, because in addition to what we have is the vowels are often like the little T below the line, and the long T, and the two dots, but there's other things. There's little tchotchkes over it, there's little brackets. Those are actually the melody, and which is very unusual here in the prayer book, because we do read other words from the Torah, like the Mechamocha, but this is the only time really that we chant it. And I think it's very beautiful, because it's kind of opening it up. No matter what your familiarity, at least you hear the chanting of the Torah, but also it gives you confidence. If you decide, like we're going to have an adult B'nai Mitzvah coming up in a couple of months, if you decide to do that, you already kind of have it in your ear, right? So you're already starting to listen to it. And so this is a beautiful, beautiful page. And you can see, by the way, on 152, 153, they actually, in this Siddur, in this prayer book, they actually show you the way it looks in the Torah. And you can notice, if you look very closely in the first word, the Shema, that last letter, Ayin, is a little bit bigger. I wish they made it actually a little bit bigger than that. And then if you look at the end, the Achad, the last letter of the Shema, is also a little bigger, spelling aid, and that witness, and that is also in the Torah itself. All right, we're going to turn to the Mechamocha, which is from the Torah, but we do not have those extra little tchotchkes, the trope marks, on page 158. And so we're going to sing it to whatever song we want. We're not beholden to the actual chanting from the Torah.
Michamocha, 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 Ba'elim Adonai. Michamocha, 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 Nedar B'Kodesh. Nahora Teilot of Zefele, Nahora Teilot of Zefele, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. מלכותך רעו בניך, אוקיי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
I invite you to rise if you're able. We're going to have our silent prayer, page 164 until page 180. Take the time for your own private thoughts and prayers. And if you want to spread out, spread out. Find the world around you in addition to just the words of the prayer. Whenever you're ready, you may be seated. recipe for living. Come without expectation, leave without doubt. Feel pain, offer joy. Hold on to love at all cost. Celebrate generosity and kindness. Disdain pettiness and blindness. Be the bridge over divisions, a canopy over divides. Life needs no instruction, nothing at all to prevent goodness like honey from seeping over the sides of our lips and into our hearts. Return to Oseh Shalom, page 180.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Amen.
Beautiful one. Thank you, Rabbi Yanina. We're going to turn to our healing prayer, page 371. And we have a lot of people within our community, outside of our community, in need of prayer. We're going to read their names and send our prayers out to them, and then we'll have an opportunity to also list your own names. We are thinking about, as a Shir Shalom community, Gail Ackerholt, Nancy Adler, Neil Agnita, Cecil Ammerman, Paula Ames, Leon Baer, Lily Bink, Hope Bongiorno, Samuel Block, Sheldon Cohen, Laura Croak, Tina Ferruto, Gabe Ferber, Faggy Fox, Eileen Gale, Aaron Glavin, Mira Grosser, Adrian Graber, Ernie and Carolyn Grosser, Aaron Hamilton, Pam Huber, Stephen Hurwitz, Baby Jonah, Alexander Hyman, Alex Katz, Granger Hugh Kelly, Susan Lansky, Gail Lewis, Lynn Longo, Ellen McLeod, David Mansfield, Robert McCoy, Kansi Mai, Pamela Niggett, Bill Ostroff, Betty Placati, Carol Parise, Tamara Rettino, Stephen Rice, Candy Rodriguez, Tony Romano, Sarah Korn Rothschild, Brandon Ryan, Danette Sang, Ernie Sapatelli, Remy Schoenwetter, Roz Silver, Eric Smith, Albert Spiceman, Russ Steinberg, Irv Sugar, Gloria Tatuski, Tracy Thiel, Adam Timlin, Enjo Tufts, Judy Van Horn, Gail Willick Smith, Gail Zaretsky, Avraham Moshe, Carla Bachana, Yosef Ben Zissel, Chana Ezra Ben Shul, Brina Chaya Bat Sapora, and Risha Bat Sapora. We'll go around, just raise your hand if you have others.
Rima Ackerhall and Brenda Rosen.
Elliot Goldstein and Marianne Grady.
Ernie Butler and Marilyn Lou.
Todd Tyler, Christopher, Caesar, and the Clark soldiers in July.
Arthur Schwartz and everybody in our family, some of our grandsons.
Ronnie said she sent her grandson into the idea.
Diana Muntz.
Eva Applebaum.
Donald Addison and Norma Cohen.
Twyla Hendrick.
We'll bring all those names into our hearts as we sing again on page 371.
May the source of strength, who
need healing of body and soul. May our prayers go out to wherever they're needed in the world and here. And may the people that need it feel comforted, and we say amen. So today is a very special day, and it's so special to have Rabbi Yunina with me here today, and to be able to have this day on Shabbat. It's very unusual, it's special, it's not something we get all the time. It has to kind of line up perfectly. And you probably don't know this, but today is actually a holiday. It's a very little known holiday called Tu B'Av. Okay? Those of you that saw in your sheets, you might have seen the beautiful little sheet that Juliana put together that has kind of the quote from the Mishnah, which talks about Tu B'Av. So Tu B'Av is a special day, the 15th. So if you've heard of Tu B'Shvat, Tu means Nun. It's Tet meaning 9, and Vav meaning 6. Put it together, you get 15. Because you can't do good. Hey, anyways, it's a long story. But the middle of the month is always a special time, because that is the middle of the Hebrew month is when there's a full moon. And this particular time is known as the time of love. It's kind of the ancient Valentine's Day. And this sheet over here will give you a little clue that there's one other moment in the Jewish year that is dedicated towards love. And you're going to be very surprised when you see. Here, we'll read it together. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said there were no days as joyous for the Jewish people as the 15th of Av and the Yom Kippur, as on them the daughters of Jerusalem would go out in white clothes, which each woman borrowed from another. Why were they borrowed? So they did this so as not to embarrass one who did not have her own white garments. And the daughters of Jerusalem would go out and dance in the vineyards. And what would they say? Young man, please lift up your eyes and see what you have chosen. It's beautiful and romantic. And you have this vision, I love this, that they actually share clothing. It's meant to be democratic. But there's something very, very jarring, even if you've never heard of 15th of Av, that's on here, which is the other holiday, which is known as the holiday of love. And what is that other holiday? Yom Kippur. Does anyone here think of Yom Kippur as the holiday of love? So that's because we have love all wrong. When you think about love, you're thinking about Cupid's arrow. You're thinking about those wonderful boxes of chocolates. You're thinking about romantic dates and Merlot and all the things we do on Valentine's Day, which is all beautiful. But that is not how they imagined this day or love itself. They were not, and you can tell by L'Chadodi, that's why I stopped us, right? L'Chadodi is about love, but it's about us, right? The importance of love is not necessarily the couple that meets, and here's that beautiful description where the maidens are out and they're waiting for the men to open their eyes and suddenly kind of fall in love. And it actually has a description, which I didn't include, that the love should not be about beauty. It should be about depth and spirit. It should be really real sense of love. But this love is really about us. Love represents something which is about hope. It's about society. A few weeks ago in the book of Jeremiah, I almost started to weep. We've been studying with our Torah study group the book of Jeremiah. And Jeremiah is kind of a hard book. He was a very harsh prophet who always had bad news to share. You would not like it if Jeremiah walked into it. And Jeremiah over and over again foretold how everything was doing, all the priests, all the people, they were being awful, they were going to get destroyed, it was going to be terrible. And one of the things that he talked about that almost brought me to tears is this vision that there would no longer be youths wandering out in the streets. that there would no longer be babies crying. That Jerusalem, like we read in Tisha B'Av just a week ago, Tisha B'Av, we say it begins in Lamentation, alas, lonely sits the city. And we hear a description of what it is for a society failure. A societal failure which we can relate to because we've seen COVID at the very least. Remember walking out and not seeing anyone? Remember, every single time I go down Sheridan Drive, I can't believe there's so much traffic. Because I remember, like all you, when literally the world stopped. And things like weddings didn't happen in the same way. I think I saw the Kermans over here. Yeah. The Kermans, you had one of those weddings of your daughter. I was just talking to Gabby. In the middle of COVID, we were at a hotel outside in the courtyard. It was just the immediate, just 20 people, right? And we even had a wedding on Zoom because it was impossible to have love. That sense of the way it breaks societies apart, the way it does. And Tu B'Av and Yom Kippur have something in common. They're both after something really hard. Tu B'Av comes just a little less than a week after Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the year. On Tisha B'Av, we're bereft. We remember what Jeremiah said. Those words were true and real. We remember, we still can see in Jerusalem, you can still see the broken stones of that second temple. Unbelievably, you can still see them out in the streets. We remember what it was. Yom Kippur is about this feeling of being this close to death. We have to imagine ourselves that we will not live past Yom Kippur every year. We have to give ourselves a fright. And so at the end of Yom Kippur, what happens? The maidens dress in white. The couples reunite. Love and hope are restored to the air. There's something about this day which is not at all like Valentine's Day. It's about how do we have and bring hope? How do we build societies full of love? And I'm going to read you, whenever I do a Shabbat brachot, I found this beautiful Linda Hirschhorn. She's the writer of it. It's a beautiful alternative Shabbat brachot, 7 blessings. And the 7th blessing, it always just, it's the way that she captures the language of the actual 7th blessing. I just love it. And it's meant, I use this particularly because we have a lot of interfaith couples and couples where the normal blessing doesn't speak to in the same way. This says, blessed is the creation of joy and celebration, lover and mate, gladness and jubilation, pleasure and delight, love and solidarity, friendship and peace. Soon may we hear in the streets of the city and the paths of the fields the voice of joy, the voice of gladness, the voice of lover, the voice of mate, the triumphant voices of lovers from the canopy, and the voices of youths from their feasts of song. Blessed, blessed, blessed is the joy of lovers, one with each other. Our lives matter. Not just our individual lives, the relationships we make, the lives we build, the hope we bring, but it matters to one another. Especially in this time, Ronnie mentioned Israel, when there's so much heartache in the world. So much heartache right here in Buffalo. We need to find signs of hope and love. It used to be kind of hard for me to do a wedding. I never know, how do I enter it? Then I realized this is the way of the Jewish wedding. Finding the hope. When people pledge their lives to each other, that means they believe in a future. People have babies, people raise kids, and people learn and grow and come to services, find hope. May we find and may we hear across Sheridan Drive, across Ben Yehuda Street, the voices of lovers, the voices of youths, the triumphant voices of youths at their feasts, and we continue to hear them even in the brokenness of our world, and we say, Amen. I told you I was going to reframe love. I told you, okay. We are ready to sing a song of love, and we actually sing these words usually to the wedding couples, the vows they often say. It's on page 129, one of the most beautiful poems, the Song of Solomon, Dodi li va'ani lo haro'ev. And then actually we say, my beloved is mine, and I am my beloved. Ani l'dodi v'dodi.
And I'm not really sure we actually said this though, that the reason so many of these love songs are here on Shabbat is because it's seen as a wedding, right?
We're having a wedding every
And
week.
with that we have to speak, it's not quite the right month yet, but in Elul, some of this arises in the name of the month. So I'll leave it at that so you can go home and say, what's the connection between Dodi Li and the month of Elul?
I love it. A little cliffhanger. So on the top of 120.
Va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Mizadolah min hamidbar Mizadolah Mekuteret moru levona Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Libavtini achoti kala Libavtini kala Libavtini achoti kala Libavtini kala Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Uri tzafon uvo iteman Uri tzafon uvo iteman Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh b'shoshanim.
Beautiful. All right, I'm going to invite Naomi up. We don't have an ark to open, but I just want her next to me. Right now. Come on up. We're going to rise for Aleinu. You're going to pretend to open our ark. We do it with 586. How do we open?
Okay. All right, and which one of the page, please?
We do the tradition. Right here on the bottom.
Very good, the bottom one. Yeah, I'm going to hold this in. Aleinu l'shateach b'adon hakol, latei b'dula liotzer reshit, shelo asan k'yorei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני
Our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family. There she is. Passing of Danny. May his memory always be for a blessing. If you have a chance, we will put the book that he wrote. So sorry, I gave you a beautiful article on Superman. We will include the book in our library, so if you want to see the pictures, both his sculptures and pictures, and especially all his acrobatics, if you have a chance to see it, our thoughts are with you. We also lost Judy Bardak this week, beloved member. Bert Clayman, who's the Randy Clayman's father, they went down to New York to do the burial. And Charles Chucks Robinson, that's Todd Robinson's father. On our Shloshim list, we are remembering Saul Elkin, a beautiful service for him at the park last week. Carol Borisnik Polliner, the mother of Beth Steinberg. Lillian Gersman, Alan Lemansky, and Marjorie Zenner Blackstone. On our yard site list from years past, we remember Philip Ackerholt, George Alenick, Joy Barish, Minnie Becker, Benjamin Bush, Mary Carosella, Eva Cohn, Stella Edelson, Irving Faden, Arthur C. Feinberg, Sam Ferris, Max Philip Finkelstein, Martha Goldenberg, Susan Goldhirsch, Mildred Gordon Hannaford, Stephen Ira Haber, Robert Horowitz, Jack Landau, Aaron Lipman, Marvin Medwick, Michael Organic, Simon Carroll, Lorraine Pleskow, David Pohl, Gerald Rosen, Elliot Rosenthal, Paula Rosner, Mary Schmidman, Edward Schulafan, William Siegel, Alan A. Singer, David L. Stein, Marvin Steinberg, Grace P. Stern, Chester Stricker, Gussie Z. Younger Leader, Morton Wakeoff, Julian M. Yud, and Viola Zilakowski. If there's other names you'd like to say, just raise your hand. Yes, we need to get that name. So your Astor's grandmother. Say it again. Teddy Altruder. Teddy Altruder.
Saul Myers, William Zolan, Doris Muller.
All those whose custom it is to rise, page 598. Yipkadah, Yipkadah, Shema, Yamah, Yirah, Yiruteh, Yamah, Yiruteh, L'chaydekom, 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 Kareem, Yibru, Amen. Yesh, Mei, Raham, Raham, Yelam, Yelam, Yipkarach, Yishkabach, Yipkabar, 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 Le'elam Yikol B'chatam Shiratam, Tushratam Ne'kamatam, Damiram Yilmam Yibru, Yesh Lam Rabba Mishmai, Chayim Aleinu Yokol Yisrael, Oseh Shalom Yiromar, Uyaseh Shalom, Aleinu Yokol Yisrael. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and we say amen. You may be seated. Zikronam Lebracha. May their memories be for a blessing. And we have, instead of Bruce, who's, I think, he has an event or something, I can't remember. But anyway, Sherry Joe is stepping in without jokes.
That was a joke. Well, this says I'm supposed to do the BEMA announcements, and so there's no BEMA, there's no announcements. Shabbat Shalom. We hope you enjoyed our service. Thank you to Rabbi Yonina Foster for co-leading with Rabbi Alex and Adam Viber for doing our sound. What a team. Thank you to our service greeters tonight, Carol Schmeidler, Stacy Kaufman, and Jake Kaufman. He's got the little junior usher button. He's very happy. There is Torah study 9 a.m. on Saturday at Temple Bet Tzedek and via their Zoom. The Shabbat morning service and Kiddush luncheon will be at 10:45 at Temple Bet Tzedek. Shavetas. We'll be back Tuesday, August 12th from 4 to 6:30. is already available. I work it pretty much every time. By 5:30, if you're not there and you haven't pre-ordered, forget Shabbat. Rabbi Alex will be leading an Israel Gaza discussion via Zoom on Thursday at 6:30.
Just write to me if you want.
Yep, join the discussion on the current state of Israel and Gaza. The situation has been so heartbreaking on so many levels. This will be an opportunity to talk openly and honestly without judgment. Based on the schedule and availability of the group, we will see how to proceed afterwards. If you'd like to attend, please contact Rabbi by email, LAZARUSKLEIN for Lazarus Klein at yahoo.com.
And when is it again, please?
Thursday at 6:30. For the month of August, the Tikkun Olam team is collecting for the teacher's desk. School supplies and teaching materials are needed for teachers who often spend much of their own money to purchase items for their students. Thank you for your generosity for supporting our July collection for the Buffalo Prenatal Perinatal Network. That collection has ended. Also, please remember to fill the bin each time you come to Temple. We do collect non-perishable foods all year long and donate items throughout the community as needed. The Women of Shir Shalom Summer Picnic will be Sunday, August 17th at noon at the home of Marina and Mark Finkelstein. We will again host a potluck and introduce the year of programs. We welcome all interested in volunteering for the Women of Shir Shalom. Next Friday, our Erev Shabbat service will be with Cantor Frank, Rabbi Adam Schelt, and Ken Kaufman. Please note that Erev Shabbat services are at 6 p.m. in July and August, and if we're not able to be outdoors, we will be in the sanctuary. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to Rabbi Alex, Frank, Todd, Joe, Joanne, or Bruce. We're here for you. Please join us for our Oneg Shabbat. If you would like to sponsor an Oneg for an occasion or no occasion, please contact Joanne. Shabbat Shalom and Am Yisrael Chai.
Oh, way better than Bruce.
And you may receive a call from Sherry Joe and the committee because they're going to be handing out high holiday honors. And if you'd like an honor, also just let Sherry Joe know as well. Why don't we, should we want to end? Maybe we could do Yedid Nefesh again? Let's end where we started, page 128, a song of love, Yedid Nefesh. 128.
Yedid nefesh ha'rachamon, Yedid nefesh ha'rachamon, meshoch avdecha, eretz onecha, meshoch avdecha, la Eretz onecha, Yarutz avdecha, kemo hayam, yesh tachaveh yalala, elul hadarecha, Yedid nefesh ha'rachamon, Yedid nefesh ha'rachamon, meshoch avdecha, eretz onecha, meshoch avdecha,
bring up Zach and Jake over here. I wanted to also, I have a couple of tickets to tomorrow's Bills game. If anyone was looking, my son wasn't feeling well, so if you want it, you just let me know. Come on over. This is gonna be the best. So look at this. We always do. Whenever Zach greets me, he gives me a high five. Oh! Alright, here we go. Lift it up. As you came in peace, please leave in peace. Please return your prayer books to over there to Stacy and Carol, and minus the leaflet, and Shabbat Shalom.
I like your hat.